10 o'clock at night, it's dark, bunch of people out here chasing pigs through the woods. If there had been a little bit of beer involved, it would be the epitome of a redneck situation. But, well, hey friends and neighbors, just check out Sheraton Park Farms. Welcome back to the farm. So over the past couple of videos, we've showed setting up our new pig paddock. We showed moving our pigs over into the new paddock. And then we had to do a little bit of separating and getting some folks ready to load. We showed setting up our loading chutes, and if you've not seen those videos, I'm going to post the link to those in the description down below so you can catch up. But today is loading day, so we're going to go down and we're going to see if we can entice the pigs over to the loading chute and see how we can do getting those guys loaded up. Stick around with us till the end, and we should have the numbers for you on what everybody ended up weighing, and we'll talk about ages and how much everybody ended up with the poundage piece at the end. So stick around and pray for us. Let's see if we can get some pigs loaded. I'm just glad Thelma Lou was still over here today. Oh, that's right. It was that other little black and white one, wasn't it? She was still over here, wasn't she? Let me go up here and see if I can walk the ones that are not here down here. That's all of them right there. 5 in there. All right, so we got 5 in the catch pen, and here comes the 6th, and as the 6th one comes over, one walks out. It's pretty typical. So what we're doing now is we're just trying to get them started up into the trailer without a lot of stimulation. What we found over time is that the more you mess with them, the more you aggravate them, the tougher this gets. Because once they get stressed, they're going to buck back, they're going to push back, they're not going to do at all what you want them to do. Right now, they should be fairly motivated by hunger. We've let the feeder run empty. The feeder's been empty for a day or two, and we were feeding them here in the catch pen last night. So they all know to come over here. They know the feed's over here. We just don't have any customers yet that are interested in stepping up on that ramp. And that may be our own fault. Maybe if we had put some hay or something down on the ramp and out here on the ground, that would have enticed them a little bit, or it wouldn't have been so much of a transition. See, what they see is they see a transition from green grass to those planks up into that trailer. Not just yet. Let's see, part of it is I really don't have a way to secure the gate once I close it. So I got one that's kind of out here right now. Let him get in. Let me gently walk that gate closed. Now I got 2 that's out here kind of wandering around. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, the main thing right here is just slow and easy. Let them so you got a red one up on the ramp. You get one going up in there, everybody else is gonna go. Out of curiosity, I think. Huh? Well, let's just see. I got Thelma Lou, she's kind of standing out here right now. Did you say you do have a T-post? Go ahead and be bringing it over here.
go get the box and the driver and everything.
Okay. Just for kicks and giggles, grab you a loaf of bread. Come on, Spot. Come on. Okay, so we've sort of returned to the scene of the crime here. And I ended up not getting footage of getting those pigs loaded. It ended up getting late, getting dark, and there was a lot of time that there just wasn't much happening. So what ended up happening, we ended up catching 4 of the pigs inside the catch pen right back here behind me, and 2 were still out in the woods. That's my own fault. I had 5 in there at one time, got greedy, wanted to get the 6th one in there, did not, ended up losing 1. So we ended up getting 4 in the catch pen. Got late, started getting late, so we called our friends Steve and Coral. They came over and we were able to get the 4 that we had loaded in the catch pen, we were able to get them loaded up in the trailer without a lot of problem. Steve and I were able to get in with a couple of just blocker boards, push boards, and I know they make those sorting boards, and I really need to get a couple of those, but we were able to get in there with our boards. Once we got the noses started and we were able to keep their line of sight forward and not let them kind of shimmy around to the side, get started up in the chute here, boom, they were gone. Worked great. So we got 4 loaded up that night. Still had 2 in the woods. So 10 o'clock at night, it's dark, bunch of people out here chasing pigs through the woods. If there had been a little bit of beer involved, it would be the epitome of a redneck situation. But kind of gave up, said, we'll get them in the morning. Got up early the next morning. Sandra and I came down right at daybreak, and those 2 girls, it was the 2 Berkshire girls that were kind of small, they were laying just on the other side of the gate over there. So we brought down a bucket of scraps, put the bucket of scraps in the catch pen, went over and nudged them. They got up, walked in the catch pen like it was nothing. I took one of the sorting boards, and in 5 minutes we went from those pigs being asleep on the ground to loaded in the trailer. So it worked out really, really good. Eventually, just took 2 tries. Couple lessons learned. Number 1, we had to go back and add some additional T-posts to the catch pen because we had a bunch of weight in there, and we were afraid that those pigs were going to push and push and push and may eventually push themselves out, and that would have been a real mess. So we had a couple extra T-posts just for some stability. We need to do a better job of getting our pigs to come to a treat or a bucket or something like that. Troy McClung with Red Tool House, and y'all are interested in pigs and you're not following Troy, please go over and follow him. He's been a godsend to us and has helped me out on a number of occasions with some questions and issues that I had. But Troy feeds his pigs a fermented feed and feeds them out of a bucket. And the other night he posted a video, he was loading up, he walks out through his catch pen, through his corral, up into the trailer, and these pigs are running over him to get up in that trailer because he's got that bucket. So we need to do a better job training those pigs to come to a bucket, come to a treat, or something like that. Didn't do a real good job on these, so we need to figure that out. Need to be feeding them earlier in the trailer. We weren't feeding them early enough in the trailer. They weren't used to going up in the trailer. They hadn't learned that food was in there. So that was another thing I think was a limiting factor for us. So lessons learned, we did get them loaded. It was aggravating. It wasn't near as aggravating as it's been in the past. So we feel really, really blessed that we were able to get those pigs, all 6 of them loaded, and to the processor on time. So worked out pretty good. So let's talk numbers. We had, most of these pigs were between 7 and 9 months old. We did have some that ended up being smaller than what we normally like. So the biggest one was, if you remember in the video, there's a white one that's got some black spots on him that we called him Spot. He was the biggest, 346 pounds. The next biggest one was the one that we called Thelma Lou. We bought her intentionally to breed. She never did develop a regular cycle, so we were never able to time her for artificial insemination. So, you know, we tried for a couple months and just was not able to pin that down so she just needed to go. Thelma Lou, 330 pounds. The two red pigs that you see in the video, those were two of the last ones that we bought from our supplier up about an hour and a half from here. The young girl, I think I've talked about her in the past. She was breeding pigs and selling them to make some money. Those were the last two that we had bought off of her. They ended up being a little small, and they were 7 months old. They ended up being a little small. They were 310 and 246 respectively. And then the last two that went on the trailer were those two little Berkshire girls. They were the smallest ones of the group, 205 and 211. So, you know, overall, we're happy with what we got. Be interesting to see what our final yield ends up being when we get the meat back from the processor, somewhere in the neighborhood of 10 to 14 days. And when we do, we'll come back and talk about that, what cuts we get, why we selected those cuts, what our total yield ended up being, and some of those kinds of things. So we'll do a full review on what those pigs ended up being, what those pigs ended up yielding at the end. Also, we're going to do a video on this on our loading chute. Had a couple of requests for that. Some folks saw it in the video, so be on the lookout for that. We're going to do a full review on this. Our friend Steve built this. Super nice. I mean, this thing is a huge help. So excited to share a little bit about our load chute with you guys. So anyway, I'm going to post a video or links to a couple of videos over here or over here. I don't know where they'll be, but there's going to be some links to some videos. Other stuff we got going on, we'll post some videos to the moving of the paddock and all that kind of thing. Subscribe is going to show up in the center of the page. Please hit that subscribe button. Follow along with us. Keep commenting. Love hearing from folks, and appreciate y'all watching. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks.